Alhamdulillah. Okay. Uh, so today we are going to continue our lesson. Unstructured data, part 2. Let me share the screen. Mana punya ni? Okay. Nampak my screen? Okay, so for this chapter, we are going to see how to model the document for NoSQL database. Okay, so at the end of this session, students should know how to model document. And then, okay, now, for data modeling, previously we have learned about RDBMS. So there is a difference between NoSQL data modeling and also the relational modeling, the RDBMS modeling. Okay, if you look at these two, okay, we can see that if you want to model the relational, we want to do the relational modeling, we need to consider the structure of the data. Okay, basically it was driven by the structure of the data, such as the schema, the format, and then we have to see also the redundancy of the data. But for NoSQL, okay, it is more to application specific access pattern. So you have the application, you will also have the idea on how to retrieve, to access those data in your database. Okay, so in last class we have learned about type of NoSQL. So you have learned how to store all the data using a key value database. You can use wide column database, and so this one is based on the modeling will be based on the access pattern for the database. Okay, and then it's about how to access data and what kind of data that you want to access. Okay, and then this is how we model the relational database, where if you can see here, there are a few entities. We have person, we have address, we have contact detail, where for example, person and address, let's say we assume that the relationship between person and address is one-to-one relationship. And then let's say we have another relationship between person and contact detail. For example, many-to-many relationship, and we can have a join table for this. Okay, and like I said before, we need to consider a few things, kan, especially the redundancy, the relationship, and also the key while doing the relational modeling. But for document, a NoSQL document, okay, we will model the data according to the object, where let's say we have the object named person. Okay, the person, we assign one key, which is the ID, the person ID, and then we can also store all the properties under that ID. Okay, meaning that one person hold one ID, and it will also have other properties such as address, contact details, and other information. Okay, and this is how we store in a document format. Okay, if you can see the ID, okay, this is the ID where each of the document must have the ID as a key, because we have learned in previous class, you must have a key to to access to the rest of the document, kan. And then this is the address, which contain all the properties, all the values for the address, and this is the contact details. Okay, so you can see you put everything in one document compared to the relational database. We have to separate it according to the entity. And if we have, for example, address, if a person have many addresses, so you can have apa kata, more entities for address, like the street, the city, the zip code, and everything. And this is another example to differentiate between SQL, the relational database, and also NoSQL database. So, for example, here, if we have a car relational database, if you use the relational database, we have to break it into parts. Okay, so each part will have its own property. But for NoSQL, you don't have to break it into parts. So we look it as one object that has those properties. Okay, so senang lah, mudah lagi daripada the normal relational database. And for modeling, modeling techniques, we have 4 types of modeling techniques. The first one is referencing documents. The second one is embedding document. The third one is denormalization, and the fourth one is a heterogeneous collection. So there are difference between these 4 techniques. Okay, let's look at the first one, the referencing document. So this is where we use apa kata you can refer another document using a document key, because we have assigned one key to hold the document. So we just refer to the key. Tak payah kiranya macam you don't have to carry all the details in the document. You just hold the key. Okay, it is similar to the to normalization in relational database, where you nak point to the table, you just call key je kan, so that you can get everything inside the table. And the good thing about referencing document is this referencing enable document databases to cache, store, and retrieve the document independently. Okay, so it doesn't matter how many properties does it have, how many, what type of schema. It's you can store it in one document or one collection. Okay, and it also provide better write speed and also the performance. In terms of searching, writing, everything, it is faster. Okay, and the readings may require more round trips to the server, because it will based on the key, so it will require few process lah. Okay, this is an example. If we have 2 documents, for example, we have 2 documents, speaker 1 and speaker 2. Document 1 is consists of details for speaker 1. Document 2 consists of details for speaker 2. So, and we have another document, let's say for session, and then we know that one session can has more than one speaker. So this session will have session ID, will also have session name and the speaker. Okay, you for speakers, you just call the key of the speaker document. Okay, document 1, ID 1, document 2, ID 2. Okay, this is referencing document. Okay, so it can be beneficial if you have a one-to-many relationship. Contoh macam sini, one session you might have more than one speakers. So boleh pakai dekat sini. Or if you have many-to-many relationship, and also when it relate data changes with differing volatility. Okay, volatility ni is a speed of change. For example, macam data yang dekat dalam you punya website tu, kalau dia punya dia tak berubah, ataupun macam something yang macam like, okay, macam ni, you post dekat Twitter, okay, the post itself, volatility dia adalah low, is low. Okay, but the like, the retweet itu akan increase kan. Dia punya apa kata, dia akan keep updates based on kalau kata banyak retweets, so the retweets value tu akan keep updates. So for the retweets, for likes, everything tu dia punya volatility dia is high. Okay, so dia ada two types of volatility, high and low. So you tengoklah speed, dekat details mana yang dia punya speed of change dia very high and which one is very low. Okay, so kat sini dia boleh kata benda tu. And this is another example for this referencing document for one-to-many relationship. Okay, one session can have many comments. Okay, you can store like this. The first one, you will have the session ID. Okay, the description of the session and then the text, and we will have some comments. So comments ni dia akan, kalau you nampak kat sini, the ID C1, ID C2, ID C3. So it will refer to the comments punya document. Okay, they store the first comment, dia punya ID is C1, second comment C2, and banyak lah. So kalau you ada dia sampai C and N tu, it can be any value. Okay.
Tengok guys, apa yang nak buat. Oh my god. Aku pun tak kisah.
Okay, this is for session and these are for comments. Okay, one to many. Boleh represent macam ni. Ataupun, okay, you boleh buat macam ni. Okay, we have the ID, description, the text, and then we will have another document, the set of documents where for ID C1, okay, you can put which session yang dia associate. Okay, if it is associate with session 1, so you put S1 lah, because S1 is the ID for session 1. Okay, kalau dia associate with session 2, then you have to put S2 here. Okay, so this is referencing. And this is how we can model for many-to-many relationship. Let's say we have speaker and also talk session in the document. So speaker, we have two, Ryan and David. Talk session, we have two session, T1 and T2. T1 is modeling data, T2 is fun with data. So if you want to have a joint table for these two documents, for example macam ni, speaker ID S1, session ID T1, speaker ID S2, session ID T1, meaning that for one session we can have two speakers. Boleh buat macam ni, however it is not efficient because it requires two references that will refer to two documents. Okay, dia kurang efficient. Kalau data you sikit, so bolehlah, mungkin tak ada masalah. But if you have lots of data, you have big data, so there will be problems. Okay, so as a solution, you can do reference document. Okay, according to apa yang you nak search for. Okay, for example here, since we have session and speaker, okay, you can do a reference by session or reference by speaker. So here, ID S1, name Ryan. Okay, for speaker Ryan, dia punya reference dekat session. Okay, session ID T1, T2, meaning that Ryan will involve in session 1 and session 2. So same goes to David. So David only involved in session 1, which is T1. Okay, but if we want to do by speaker, reference by speaker, if you can see the first one is the session punya details, ID and also the name, and then we will have a list of speakers involved in the session. Speakers kat sini kita ada ID S1 which is referring to Ryan and S2 refer to David. That one is for session 1, and for session 2, okay, session 2 only involve David. Only involve Ryan sebab S1 kan. Speaker ID equals to S1. So this is by speaker. Okay, jangan confuse So this is more efficient. Okay, it's more efficient because it only requires one reference. Dia tak macam tadi. Kalau tadi tu you nak kena buat banyak dokumen, but this one you put everything in one. Okay. And this is also apa kata yang tadi I cakap volatility tu, the low volatility and the ataupun high volatility or greater volatility. For example, here we have ID, description and tag that will represent the session punya description, and then we have speakers, likes and also hearts. Ini macam comments kan? So comment. No, session tu dia boleh berapa orang likes, berapa orang akan bagi sign heart. If we can see here for ID, description, tag and speaker, the info tu kita tak berubah. Okay, so bila tak berubah, we call it as a low volatility ataupun low volatility. But for likes and hearts, okay, whatever participant likes ataupun give the click for heart tu, dia akan bertambah. So dia akan rapid. Dia punya changes tu is very rapid. Jadi kita boleh kata dia high volatility ataupun it has a greater volatility. Okay, so you need to understand the word volatility tu, the speed of change. Sebab dalam websites dia ada yang a few things with low volatility and ada yang with high volatility. So you need to differentiate that whenever you want to do this referencing. And the other one, okay, dekat sini we have another example. Okay, session and also tadi you boleh combine together kan. This one kalau you nak pecahkan, you nak put separately. So you want to split. So you can refer to the session. This is supposed to be T1 sebab dia akan refer pada session ni T1. It's not S1. And then likes and dia ada hearts dia. Okay, berapa? So dia akan keep on changing lah yang tu. Dia punya likes and hearts tu. Okay, that one is referencing document. So let's move to the embedding document. Okay, embedding document is where you can embed the document in another document. Okay, by simply defining an attribute to be an embedded document. And same as referencing, it enables document databases to cache, store, and retrieve the complex document with embedded document as a single piece. Okay, and also it eliminates the need to retrieve two separate documents and join them. So you put everything in one document sebenarnya benda ni. Okay, and it also provide better read speed and also performance. So let's look at how to do the embedding document. Tadi referencing, you just call the ID. But for embedding document, you take the whole thing, the whole info, the whole value for that contained in document 1, you put inside the session punya document. So kalau tengok tadi yang referencing tu, we only have ID1 and ID2. But now we have the description ataupun the information about the speakers. For ID1, dia ada name, thumbnail, URL, short profile and semua benda lah tentang document 1 or speaker 1. And then list another speaker. So if you have 10 speakers, there will be 10 info lah dekat dalam speakers tu. Okay, maknanya kita embed those documents inside another document. Tengok yang mana satu yang you nak embed. Yang mana satu akan jadi main document. Okay, and then Okay, this embedding document can be advantageous when you have two data items that often queried together. So kalau macam selalu nak refer saja pada that kind of document, so you can embed it in the main document. Okay, and then one data is dependent to another, and it is meant for one-to-one relationship. Okay, kalau one to many macam susah lah sebab you nak kena macam tadi kan dekat referencing tadi mudah untuk you kata one to many and many to many, but this one is for one to one relationship, and you must make sure that the volatility is similar. Okay, this is okay how we can query the two data together, where we have ID books. So in books we have covers and also chapters. So covers dia adalah dia punya details, and chapters also ada dia punya details. Okay. And this one, okay, we can see here, one data item is dependent on another, where order ID, okay, and we have order and also the products. So which one depends to yang mana satu depend pada siapa? You rasa yang mana satu yang depend?
Product depend pada order.
Yes, because products will be the order will be made by customer kan. So dia akan create the order, and then it will list all the products yang dia nak beli. So products depends to the order. So kalau kata tak ada order, so products tu tak adalah dekat dalam dokumen tu. Okay. Senang je kan? So for one-to-one relationship, okay, this is how we can create one-to-one relationship. So we have the person ID, and then the username, and also the profile, his profile. Okay, sebab kita ada like macam details for customer, we have two documents, and then the documents is one-to-one relationship, so kita boleh terus embed saja masuk dekat dalam tu. And this is example for similar volatility. Okay, so kalau you nampak kat situ, the social IDs, we have TweetChat and also Instabook. Okay, you can put the ID, sebab kita tahu kan for profile name jarang-jarang berubah. Jadi for this type of volatility, boleh you embed dekat dalam dokumen tu. Okay, because the email, okay, here ada email kan, email dengan social ID ni do not change very often. Okay, the third one is denormalization. Okay, normalization, okay, you will have, let's say you have a query here, session ID, and then we need speakers kan. So it will refer to another document where speaker ID 1, so dia akan dapatkanlah all the details about speaker ID 1. Okay, ini sebenarnya dia punya ni refers dia macam tak betul. Okay, speaker ID 1 ni sepatutnya dia punya mesti match ID ni dengan yang atas dekat query ni kena match dengan dokumen yang bawah. So nanti kalau you buat, nanti you kena make sure lah benda tu betul. Okay, ini dia akan refer. So you perlukan dua documents. You kena baca first yang kat sini, and then let's say pergi ke speaker 1, it will read everything for the document 1. It will go to document 2, baca pula document 2. Okay. But for this one, okay, denormalize, where you can embed the speaker into the session with summary information. For example, we have the session, and then we have the detail of the speakers. Sama macam awal-awal tadi tu. Okay, you can put everything inside that. So if further information about speaker is needed, only then it will be loaded. And this is the differences between normalize and denormalize, where for normalize, it requires multiple read. Okay, because you need to open few documents, and then it does not align with instances and provide, but however it provide faster reading speed. Okay, sebab dia macam each of the document tu tak banyak lines yang nak read. And then denormalize, it requires updates in multiple places, and also it provide faster read speed. Okay, kenapa dia kata requires updates in multiple places? Because once you embed dekat dalam dokumen tu, embed everything in one document. So let's say lah you store dekat 2-3 tempat dokumen yang sama, you need to update everything. If not, it won't synchronize. Tapi kalau normalize tadi kan, you just update maybe dekat satu tempat sahaja. And the last one is heterogeneous collection. But before we look at the heterogeneous collection, we need to know about homogeneous collection. So homogeneous collection is about the data type for the collection. Maknanya in one collection it will have the same data type. Okay, but usually if you have many many attributes or many properties, each of the properties tu dia akan ada different data type. So it can be heterogeneous, dia bukan homogeneous. Okay, so for heterogeneous collection, it can store different data type format in one document and in one collection. So it doesn't matter. Macam kita tengok previous class, from database, a collection of documents will form a collection kan. So dalam satu collection tu, you can have many documents with different format, with different data types and macam-macam structure. Okay, that is heterogeneous collection. So dia boleh store, saya cakap lah, boleh store macam-macam format and data type. Okay, okay, itu sahaja untuk part 2. Any question? I ada exercise nak bagi kat you all ni untuk buat benda ni. Ada soalan tak nak tanya? Dia macam nampak lebih kurang je setiap satu tu, kan? Like referencing, embedding, lebih kurang. So yang selalu kita guna pakai tu, kalau kata nanti you buat exercise, you can choose whether you want to use referencing ataupun embedding document. But if the question asks you to use referencing document, then kena follow lah referencing document. Okay, sebab dalam exam pernah ada keluar referencing document yang dia minta reference by apa. Okay, they give one case study and then you have to come out with referencing document punya answers by, dia ada dua lah, dia macam okay, reference by sekian-sekian and then another one reference by sekian. So you have to write down the answer according to the question yang diminta tu, reference by apa. Yang embedding ada pernah keluar, yang embedding senang je. Yang siapa lagi tu, normalize tu, so normalize ni pun lebih kurang macam referencing kan. Heterogeneous pun sama juga macam referencing, but usually memang kita dalam exam keluar referencing document. Nanti you all buat MongoDB tu pun akan follow yang ni. Okay, any question? Dia macam ulang kan. Part 1 dulu kita dah tengok dah benda ni. You have seen this, but now pun ada lagi detail lah compared to yang in part 1. So if you don't have any question, I nak bagi soalan dekat you all so that you all boleh buat exercise, come out with referencing ni. Ada soalan tak? Do you have any question?
Tak ada soalan, Doktor.
Senang kan? Senang kan?
InsyaAllah senang.
InsyaAllah senang, Doktor.
I rasa macam benda ni macam alah korang ni pandai-pandai start je boleh buat benda ni. Okay, I bagi This is a case study. Dekat dalam UFuture pun ada. The first case study, I will give you 2 case studies. But first buat yang ni dulu. This is about, sekejap nak tengok. Case study ni, if I'm not mistaken, about Domino's Pizza kot. Yes, Domino's. Okay, we just buat ni dulu. And then CSP, betul ISP. Okay, cuba tengok dekat you all punya WhatsApp. Okay, I've posted the NoSQL document DB modeling exercise. So based on the website, okay. So I buka I share. You all kena create. Macam you buat database dulu. Kalau you all ingat lagi, kita tak ingat dah database. Okay, this is the question. Okay, it's Domino's Pizza online delivery system. So there will be a few, but there are the meals, it has pizza, so side order, shopping cart, paid order, favorite orders, customer profile, and also customer addresses. Okay, each of these you kena buat document. Maknanya dia ada satu meal document, pizza document, side order document, shopping cart document, paid order document, favorite orders document, customer profile document, customer addresses document. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 documents. Okay, cuba buat. Cuba tengok based on the given image. Jangan pergi buka Domino's punya website pula. Okay, based on the given image. So you akan tengok what are the properties for meals. So you akan cuba create document ini format untuk 88 documents ni. Boleh? This is the exercise kalau tak ada soalan. You tengoklah nanti. Kat sini dia ada banyak ni. Macam ni nak buat. You can create your own
Create document tu saya Zat. Berdasarkan yang slide tadi ke?
Iya, yang you all belajar tadi tu kan tadi kita ada macam speaker ID, we have session. Speaker name, kita ada some of the details. So details tu you kena tengok apa yang ada dekat dalam ni. Contoh meals kan. Okay, apa lagi ada dekat meals ni? So dia ada 2 pizza regular. So ini adalah mungkin dia punya meals punya name kan. Lepas tu dia punya price, dia punya side order ke, dia punya ada combo, ada type. You boleh create lah. You can have your own properties. But it must based on this image. Kalau you tengok pizza, dia ada pizza name, dia ada mungkin dia punya size, and then apa lagi ada dekat dalam ni? Ingredients. Ida bagi jawapan dah dekat you all ni. Sama juga macam side order. Boleh?
Boleh, Doktor.
Senang je ni. Macam you bayangkan you buat relational database, you have side order entity. So what are the properties for that entity? Tapi itu dalam bentuk relational, but now you need to transform it in document format. Okay?
Okay, good Doktor.
Okay.
Okay, good. Cuba buat dulu.
Due date bila Doktor?
Due date bila? Kita akan discuss waktu lab nanti. Waktu buat MongoDB. So you akan buat benda ni guna MongoDB nanti.
Hari Khamis esok lah. Hari Khamis esok lah.
Esok? Bila masa pula saya ada lab lagi esok? Minggu depan, Dek.
Minggu depan. Salah tengok.
Because I have lab with ISP610 during Monday dengan Tuesday. Jangan esok I ada kelas lain.
Salah tengok doktor, sorry.
Jangan UCSP 600 kot. 650 esok. Entah, tak apalah, tak kisahlah kelas apa pun. Tapi yang pastinya kita punya lab minggu depan, bukan esok. Okay? So you boleh buat, we still have another 1 hour and 20 minutes macam tu. So you boleh buat sekarang. Kalau tak habis nanti sambung. Okay?
Doktor.
Yeah.
Slide nak dapat kat mana?
Kejap lagi saya hantar slide. Sabar.
Okay, thank you doktor.
Dia sebab slide tu baru siap sangat-sangat. Sekejap mana slide I? Okay, group B dah. Now group A. Dapat tak group B?
Dapat doktor.
Okay, so group A pun dah. Okay, so you can refer to that. But if you have any question, you just text me. Ataupun saya mute saja. You can nak leave meeting boleh leave. Tapi kalau kata you ada soalan, you masuk balik lah. Okay, tapi saya takkan leave this meeting. Saya akan ada. Tapi saya akan mute. Kalau apa-apa, you just call me. Okay? So saya stop recording. Okay, you can start doing the exercise now.